Welcome to Complete with DLC, the only show that's suing itself for $150 million. I'm one of your hosts, Griffin, and sitting across from me is the lawyer himself, Brad Knight. Brad, how you doing?
This is the most insulting thing you've ever said to me.
I know, right?
I'm not a lawyer. I'm a politician.
That's even worse, I would say.
Yeah, but, only one of those is true. So, Jacob, how you been this week?
I've been good. Which one of those is true?
I was called the politician in high school.
Oh.
Because I was able to talk myself out of just about anything. And to the annoyance of everybody who kept trying to get me in trouble.
Oh. I also did that as well. See, you know what the trick is to not getting in trouble during school? Is to not act like an asshole to a teacher.
If you call yourself an idiot to them, they kind of don't expect that, and they let you off easy. They're like, oh, why'd you do this? Because honestly, I'm an idiot, and it was a mistake, and it won't happen again. I apologize.
If even that... so here's a little backstory to this, thing. At our school that we used to go to in high school, because me and Brad went to high school together, we had a I don't know, would I guess he'd be administrator, who was just a psychopath? He was bald, and he was a psychopath.
Oh, I don't... Okay, yeah. He's an interesting character.
Yeah. And so he would get so mad over the littlest thing. So one day I grabbed somebody's ID from them, and then he called me over to talk to me, and he was like, "What were you doing over there?" Like in a stern voice. I can't do his voice because his voice is so weird. But I was like, I grabbed his ID, and he was like, "Do you realize that was wrong to do?" And I was like, "Yes." He was like, all right. And I walked away. Most kids go, no, I didn't mean to do it. I didn't do anything wrong. And that's what gets them in trouble.
There was a rumor going around for a while that particular administrator, he's the head of the vocational department.
He is.
At our school, or at our previous school. And there was a rumor going around that he was a drill sergeant. It turns out that rumor was false, and he was actually in culinary. So if you've ever been in a chef's kitchen, you know that the head chef is almost worse than a drill sergeant. So... He treated that school like a kitchen, if that makes any sense.
A story I heard one day was that he said something about being in the Marines, and then some kid yelled at him that you were a cook, and that just really shut him up. So maybe we should all have just done that to him.
Yeah, he was funny, though. If you ever got on his good side, he was a pretty funny guy. But
yeah, he was a funny guy, like if he came to visit shops and stuff, and just talked to the group.
Don't make him mad.
Yeah.
If I learned anything in 4 years of high school, is if somebody used to be a chef, don't make them mad.
I forgot to ask you how you're doing this week. How was your week?
Not bad. I've had a pretty eventful week. It was busy, but not in a bad way.
It's always good to be busy.
Yeah. You always have things to do, people to see. Better than having things to see and people to do, I suppose.
Oh ho ho!
But we should probably get into the, what's the first segment of the show? I've been doing this so long enough, you think I'd know.
We're 25 episodes in and you don't even remember the first segment of the show.
What are we doing? Why am I here?
We're doing what we're playing. Brad, what have you been playing this week?
What have I been playing this week? Oh, I know what I've been playing this week. I've been playing Dark Souls 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I have...
Especially when 3 is out, so you could just play that.
Right, but I have to buy 3, and I don't really want to do that. Mostly because I don't have $60 lying around. But now in hindsight, I wish I had pre-ordered it, because if you pre-ordered 3, I think we talked about this on the show a while ago, you got Dark Souls 1 for free. It came along
Dark Souls?
Yeah, I know. I lost
You just said it like a southern lawyer.
Yeah. Ashe. I don't know. This franchise has taught me something. Quite a few things, actually. And I realized that I was
bad at video games.
Yeah, I was wrong last time I talked about the Dark Souls and almost all the games from Software. And I realize it sounds like I'm stuttering when I say that because it's from Software.
Yeah, the company's name is From Software.
They need a new name.
They do.
But I had prematurely judged these games without having really played them as much as I have now. And these games are fantastic. They have amazing enemy design, amazing boss design. They look great, and they're not... They are as hard as everybody says they are, but they're hard in a way that's fair. They never present you with a challenge that hasn't already been hinted to, or alluded to, or they've shown you how to do it already. So everything you encounter, you know how to deal with, or you know how to survive long enough to learn how to deal with it. So it's sort of that learning curve that you have to get used to, but it's nowhere near what I had assumed the game was like, where it was you just die a whole bunch of times and then eventually you get good enough not to die anymore. It's really not like that. And on top of the game being fantastic, and from what I understand now, 2 is actually the one people like the least, which is weird to me, because 2 is the one I'm playing. My brother has 1, I have 2, and neither of us have 3. We're going to have to figure that situation out soon. But what the game has taught me is that in the realm of fantasy, I so much more enjoy the sword than the laser, to put it in that kind of term. I never really considered myself on either side of that fence. I always thought, I watch both, I listen to both. They're both fun. But I never really thought about which one I enjoyed more. And something about the lore of this game has hooked me. I don't understand a damn thing that's going on, but it's awesome.
All right, so I'm gonna hit you with my pessimist ways of looking at Dark Souls.
Yeah, because you don't like swords, right? You prefer lasers?
No. I prefer lasers. I like swords very well. It depends on like the story, obviously. Like I like Lord of the Rings series. I like Skyrim and stuff. But with this game, when I played it, because I played like a good hour of the first one, because the first one was free for Xbox 360 back in the day. It was like one of the games with gold. And so I played it, and I don't know what it was about it. It just really did not appeal to me. I played like an hour of it, and just the gameplay felt very slow to me. And I know that that's kind of like what it's going for, is it's kind of trying to be like a little bit of like a realistic sword fight, because like swords are like very heavy. And so like obviously you can't swing a sword as fast as like some people do in like Devil May Cry and stuff. But the thing is that in my video games I like to have fun. And with the slow swords, it's not fun to me. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, the problem with that is it's true that it is very slow, but it's because of the kind of game that it is, and you're entirely correct. The point of that sort of slow gameplay is, yes, it's more realistic, but it's trying to get you to pay more attention to your surroundings, because if you don't, you're gonna die. Which is kind of I would also kind of prefer if it was a little bit faster at points, but I understand why it can't be, because if it was, the game would actually be impossible. If you tried mixing Dark Souls difficulty with a fast-paced combat system, you couldn't beat the game. It'd be impossible.
I respect Dark Souls for what it is. I think its character design and world design is very nice and stuff, and I think the games look very nice, and I've heard the lore is very good in it and stuff, but like it's just a game that doesn't appeal to me.
Have you played Bloodborne?
I haven't, but I've heard from people that Bloodborne would be the game that I think would appeal to me more, because it's much faster than Souls.
Yes, so Bloodborne is very, very similar to Dark Souls in sort of how it's constructed, but the main difference between the two is Dark Souls emphasizes a very defensive combat system, like you described. You have to kind of take it slow and understand what's going on, whereas Bloodborne's the opposite. It pushes you to be as aggressive as possible. So much so that there's a mechanic in the game that if you get hit and you lose HP, that HP doesn't go away for about 10 seconds or so, and if you hit them in that 10-second period, you gain some of the HP back. So it sort of incentivizes you to, if you get hit, to hit them back. Go blow for blow and try to, outmaneuver the guy and get your HP back. So I think Bloodborne is definitely going to be the game you're going to want to check out.
Yeah, that sounds so much better to me. Just from that little explanation there, that sounds so much better to me than Souls.
It is. It's night and day, really, when you've played both of them. Like, at first glance, you think, oh, they're both, kind of the same game, just with different art styles, but they play totally differently.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. The weapon system's also much more manageable in Bloodborne. Like, in Dark Souls, there's, like, dozens and dozens of the same kind of weapon. Like, there's 100 different kinds of swords and all different names and this, that, the other thing.
Isn't there guns in Souls, too? I mean, in Bloodborne?
And, yeah, there's guns in Bloodborne as well. So, essentially, you have... I haven't gotten very far in Bloodborne, so if this information's incorrect, I apologize, but at the very start of the game, you were presented with 3 different weapons and I think 2 different guns, and you have to pick one of each. So, it's like an axe, a sword, and a cane, and I think it's a pistol and a
cane, like a walking cane.
Yeah, and so the thing with Bloodborne is all of your weapons can transform. So the cane does more damage than a transformation. It transforms into a bladed whip. I don't know what the other two transform into because I took the cane. Mostly because I named my character Tom Hanks because he looked like Tom Hanks, and I thought Tom Hanks would take a cane if he was presented with such a choice.
You're right, Tom Hanks would.
So, yeah, you should definitely check it out. I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I want to try it out. I want to try it before I buy it. Like, I don't want to commit to paying for Bloodborne and then I ended up not liking it.
Well, I have it. Maybe we can make a video out of it. Oh, Jacob tries Bloodborne.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I'd like that. Other than that, you play anything else this week?
No, I've been kind of absorbed in Dark Souls. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the lore, but from what my brother told me, even if I play the first game, I'm still going to have no idea what's going on, so off to the internet I go.
Ooh. So I guess that would then come over to me of what I've been playing this week.
Yes, I know a little bit of what you've been playing, but I'm sure you have something up your sleeve.
Wait, what's the little bit of what I've been playing?
I think you mentioned to me earlier you were playing GTA.
Oh, yeah, I was doing something in GTA though. I wasn't playing it like serious to do anything or like make money or anything. Like it wasn't like when I was on my yacht quest. Did I ever tell you about my yacht quest?
Yeah, you had to get some stupid amount of money to get a yacht because, it's like $17 billion or something.
Yeah, it was I think it was like all in all when everything was said and done it was $10 million.
It amazes me that there are boats and planes and vehicles in that game that cost hundreds of real money, like hundreds of dollars of actual cash. That's incredible to me.
You know what's sad is that I've spent hundreds of dollars of actual cash on that game.
It's mind-blowing to me, although I guess I can't really say because I've bought skins in almost every MOBA I've ever played, so I'm just as bad.
I bought two like $50 shark cards and a couple 20s. Yeah,
that game, man. That game.
I'm upset with my life right now because I just after saying that out loud, I spent like $140 on a fake boat that I barely use.
Yeah, you see, it's never as bad until somebody brings it up. Like somebody would ask me, like, "Oh, you have a lot of skins. How much money have you spent on skins?" Oh, well, let me think. Oh, I don't want to think. Never mind.
Yeah, it's just like once it finally hits me, like the realization of it.
You get a little buyer's remorse.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
It is. It's very upsetting.
Other than that, I kind of played more of that zombie game.
I don't know if he was playing that. How he really likes it.
Did we ever talk about that? Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast last week. It's all right. I kind of like it. I like its gimmick a lot. Of like, if you die,
you
just come back as you just come back as another survivor. I like that a lot. Way different than just like you die, restart here kind of thing. You know what I mean? It makes it feel more like an actual survival situation. But I haven't died yet with my first character, so fingers crossed that I can get through the game with him. Because the game just gives you health packs and like health items like crazy. Like I found so many like energy bars and stuff. Handgun ammo I can't find to save my life, but
I always hate that in games, especially zombie games are the biggest offender of this, where they give you a cool gun like a pistol or a rifle, and then they make ammo so scarce you never want to use it.
See, here's the thing, right? Is that guns aren't even that good in this game. It's just it's much better than using a melee weapon, because the melee weapons are like very finicky on if they're gonna actually do anything or not.
Yeah, that's if you make melee a like important part of the game because it's like an ammo hoarding type of game, you need to make sure that melee is like usable, otherwise you run into a pretty big problem.
Also, the other thing about guns that are cool about this game that I think not a lot of zombie games do, and I think they should, is that if you use a gun, it alerts zombies in your area that maybe don't know that you're there, because the sound of a gun obviously is very loud.
Yeah.
And so I like that a lot. Like games like, I think the only games that I can really think of that do that are like DayZ and H1Z1, like the ones that are like straight up like zombie simulation sort of things.
Didn't Last of Us do that with the clickers? Like you could distract them with noise?
Yes, all right then. But that was more of a thing of they're blind, so they can't see anything.
Yeah, they're reliant on their hearing.
Yeah, exactly. But when it comes to just like straight up just regular zombies, like most games, like Left 4 Dead and stuff, you can like mow down a bunch of zombies and nobody hears you unless you hit like a car alarm.
Yeah, which never made much sense to me. Like, you're throwing Molotovs, blowing up gas tanks, nobody cares. You accidentally kick a car tire, and everybody in a 20-mile radius is gonna come rushing you.
Exactly. But like, I really like how this game does it. I kind of wish there was like a co-op to it. Like, as it is now, it's like a single player thing, and it feels very like honestly, like depressingly lonely and empty.
It feels like it would do well in a co-op space. I'm surprised there isn't one.
Yeah, and especially too because it was on the Wii U, and you can see a lot of the gimmicks that the Wii U might have had back in the day.
Yeah.
Like there's a thing that you used to scan. Well, the mission I did was he had to scan CCTV boxes with it, and I guess that updates your map. But you could tell that was a thing where you had to lift up the gamepad to do.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like, that would have annoyed the crap out of me, so I'm kind of glad I didn't play it on Wii U. But it's fun, and I think people should try it. It's a free game, so what do you have to lose?
Yeah. If it's free, then it's for me.
Exactly. That's my motto in life, really.
Have you played what's the free thing that came? I don't know if it's free. I think it's a beta that was just out. I think it's called Battleborn. Was it called?
No, I haven't played it yet, and I don't know when the beta ends, which kind of sucks because I kind of want to try it before it's done. But I'm afraid that I'm gonna like install it, and then by the time it's installed, it's just like, hey, the
servers
beta's
are closed.
over. Exactly.
My quick impression of it is it's Destiny meets Borderlands.
Really? Because what I've heard is it's like Borderlands meets like League of Legends, kind of. Because it's kind of like a first-person MOBA.
I wouldn't go so far as... I can see why it would be considered a MOBA-ish, but I didn't play very much of it. The only time I played it was my brother was in a match, and he had to leave suddenly, and I had to take over for him. So he plopped me down in the middle of a boss fight, and I had no idea what was going on.
How'd it play?
We killed the boss, which was kind of nice.
Did it play good, or...?
Yeah, the controls are great. It feels like shooting the okay, so I don't know the name of the boss that I killed, but it was this robot spider-looking... Not spider, but robot mechanical-looking thing, and these green tubes appeared on his legs. You had to shoot the tubes, and they would change color depending on their health. It would go from green to yellow to red, the standard health bar kind of thing.
Right.
And every time you blew up one of those tubes, he'd go into a vulnerable state where he'd fall to the ground. He revealed like a core that popped out of the bottom of him. You had to shoot the core. You had like 5 or 10 seconds to do so. It would go back up, and then you started again. You rotated around till you did all of his legs and killed him. And just it doesn't play like a MOBA to me, and that's because I'm playing the campaign. I didn't touch any of the...
Oh, there's a campaign to it? I had no clue there was a
that's,
campaign.
That's like the campaignish type stuff was what I was doing. And
From what I hear, the multiplayer is like just straight up like it's a MOBA mode, essentially.
I don't know.
Like you get the 3 lanes and stuff, and then like you have like, I guess, pillars to defend. I've never really played a MOBA, but I know of what a MOBA is like.
Yeah, there's so many around. It's just kind of a formula that's out.
Yeah, and then you have like enemies coming at you that you have to defend the bases from and stuff. So that seems straight up MOBA to me.
I don't know. Just from the character design and the way the game plays and feels, I can't say that it played like a MOBA. I mean, towers, enemy waves, and a core does not a MOBA make. Your characters have to feel like they're from a MOBA, which is a very unique feeling. And from what I played, it does not feel like they're from a MOBA. It feels like I was playing Destiny with a Borderlands art style.
You know what I think really is going to hurt this game is that whenever I hear about this game, I immediately get it mixed up with Overwatch in my head.
I mean, that's not too far off. It looks very... It doesn't look very Overwatchy, but it has that same kind of feel where every character has 3 or 4 things they can do. There's no... as far as I know, there's no ultimates, though. Like, yeah, one of my skills had like a 40-second cooldown, but it was just a big bubble shield. It didn't feel like an ultimate, so... That's kind of the one main thing that all MOBAs have, is all your characters have an ultimate of some sort, and I didn't have one, and it didn't feel MOBA-ish to me.
You know what's weird is that, like, Black Ops 3 went kind of straight up MOBA, like, for its newest one, because they have, like, all their multiplayer characters, and they have, like, an ultimate that builds up a meter, and you can use it for a certain amount of time.
That was a weird direction from the go, I thought.
But I liked it a lot, actually.
I haven't played much of Black Ops 3. I've only played it when I went over to my cousin's house and I was waiting for something, so we played a couple matches. I thought it controlled kind of weird.
I think it's they should have called it a different franchise. They shouldn't have made it Black Ops related. I know why they did it, because the Black Ops series has like a huge name cachet.
Yeah, it's probably the most successful of the Black Ops or the Call of Duty franchises, between like Black Ops, Modern Warfare, and what was the other one? Ghosts, I guess, is the next series, because that is getting a sequel.
No, I guess you technically can count the World War II ones as a series.
Well, there's only one, right? It's only World at War.
No, 1 to 3 is all World War II as well.
Oh, right.
And then 4 became Modern Warfare, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is crazy! It's so much different." And then they went back to World War II for like no reason.
Yeah, they went back for World at War, which I liked. I think it's my favorite Call of Duty.
And then they went future with Black Ops.
Then back to modern, and then they flip flopped.
Yeah. The next one's gonna apparently be in space, so that's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah. I'll stick to my not futuristic shooters. I don't like future shooters.
You love Halo, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's fantasy, not sci-fi.
No, it's sci-fi. It's not fantasy.
Well,
sir.
no, sci-fi would like it's the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars, right? Star Trek is sci-fi, where Star Wars is fantasy. One is somewhat based in I forgot the word, exaggerated like reality, where the other is purely fantasy based. It's kind of the same thing with like the most recent Call of Duties against Halo, where Halo is purely fantasy. It's all, alien races and this, that, and the other thing. But the Call of Duty franchise is our future projected a few hundred years.
Here's the thing, though, with the fantasy versus the science fiction thing, is I always equate Star Wars to fantasy, because it's essentially like a sword movie. Like, you know how you like old school like medieval stuff, like you were talking about earlier. It's essentially that. It's just futuristic, because it's in space. But the thing is with like sci-fi to me is it's always been like aliens and stuff gets equated to that. So I've always equated Halo with sci-fi for some reason. I don't know if I explained that well. I don't feel like I did. I feel like an idiot right now the way I'm speaking.
If anybody listening wants a pretty good description of sci-fi versus fantasy, I want to say Extra Credits on YouTube has a really good video on it. And their
Extra
videos
Credits has a lot of good videos in general, so you should just go watch Extra Credits.
Yes, they have a lot of really good videos. And if you're looking more into the Dark Souls thing, their second channel, what is it, Extra Plays, has the main dude, Dan, one of the Dans, I forget his last name, the Dan who talks, the green dude.
Oh yeah, the main guy.
Yeah, he plays through Dark Souls 1, and there's I want to say 60 or 70 episodes of it right now. And he plays through the whole game. The first maybe 20 episodes have James with him, and they're doing a very, very in-depth game designer analysis of the game. So if you like analytical Let's Plays, then the first 20 or 30 episodes of that is very much up your alley.
But we've been in what we're playing for a very long time.
This might be our longest what we're playing.
Probably. And a lot of it is not even about what we're playing.
Well, yeah, I would say a lot of it is.
I guess it all spins off of what we're talking
about. That little 3-minute Call of Duty little spin there. But regardless, I think it went well. It's fine. It's fine, guys. It's fine.
But we've got a couple news stories this week. Not a lot, because there wasn't really anything crazy that happened this week. So let's get into the news. Welcome to the news. Like I said, nothing crazy this week. Just a couple of quick stories and one kind of long one that is it's pretty a big one to talk about. So
some fun stuff this week, though.
Yeah. First, we're going to start off with HTC bringing Vive VR headsets to retail locations.
Yeah, like those the Wii U's and the PSPs, or no, I guess it's not PSP now. What do they have in the little display cases in like Walmart and GameStop? It's like a Wii U and something else.
They have Xbox and PS4s.
Do they have those little demos for the main consoles?
If you go to like a GameStop and stuff, yeah, they usually have those set up.
Yeah, I should pay more attention next time I'm in a GameStop.
You know what's weird is they set up their Wii U outside of the store, but then the Xbox and PS4 are inside the store.
Well, I figure Okay, why would they do? Okay, so I would say
Isn't that weird?
Wii U probably has a lower age median, so like the lower younger kids probably play Wii U, so they'll see it sticking out of the store and they'll want their parents to go over there and play it, and that'll get the parents to walk into the store and thus generate revenue. Whereas a kid sees an Xbox One or a PS4 sticking out of the store, they're probably less likely to get their parents to drag over there.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just always thought that was weird that they just stick it outside the store. But getting back to the story, one of the biggest barriers to adoption of virtual reality is getting people to experience the technology for themselves. HTC, maker of the Vive VR headset, is addressing that problem by bringing its newly launched head-mounted display to retail, so anyone can try it out. HTC is partnering with Microsoft and GameStop in the US and Canada to bring Vive demos to retail. It's starting out small. The first retail locations to get Vive demo units will be the Microsoft flagship store in New York, Microsoft at Bellevue Square in Washington, Microsoft at City Creek Center in Utah, and Microsoft at Park Meadows Mall in Colorado.
In Utah? Of all the places to go, why Utah?
I don't know. Up to 30 Microsoft stores will get Vive demo units this year. Approximately 10 GameStop stores will also be getting Vive demo units this month. The hardware will be demonstrated with select experiences from more than 120 titles that are available now on Steam. HTC said it will also sell the Vive headset at retail stores this summer. Pre-orders at those retail locations are expected to be fulfilled by June. Vive is currently in stock online through HTC's website web store. The headset costs $7.99. What do you think of this? I think this is great that they're doing this.
This is a fantastic thing for VR. What I'm most confused about is there are no GameStops in Canada, right? Aren't they? They're not.
It's EB in Canada, but they're all owned by the same company.
Oh, are they owned by the same company? Okay.
Yeah.
I could have swore I've been told that before. I just forgot.
Yeah, and then I think they own another company that's a retailer that's just in the UK.
Probably.
But this story says it's only coming to US and Canada for now.
Because nobody ever does anything in the UK.
Yeah, who cares about the UK?
The US and Canada are always...
USA.
Well, we're always the guinea pigs for all the programs.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go well here, then they won't get it in the UK. But if it takes off here, then they'll go off everywhere. That's how it's always been, unfortunately.
The weird thing is, I don't think it's going to do well.
I think it'll
in all honesty.
I think it'll do very well, but I don't think it's going to generate the kind of sales they think it will.
Here's the thing of why I think it's not going to do well, right? I think it'll do well in turning people on to VR, given the fact that like they can try it out finally, and they're like, oh, this is actually really cool. But I don't think it's going to turn people on because of that price tag. That price tag is going to ruin anyone's thing of like, oh, wow, I really like this headset. How much is it? $7.99? F that. Let's get out of here.
Well, maybe, but maybe not. The problem with that is when... Okay, so let's use GameStop as an example, right?
Right.
Let's say, some parents walk in there with their kid. Kids maybe, 12, 13, whatever. And maybe the dad's into video games too. Whatever. So they walk in there and they see this demo for Vive. The kid walks over there, tries it, loves it, wants to buy it. The dad tries it, he loves it too, he wants to buy it. And the $800 price is going to probably turn them away. But if it didn't, for a moment, let's say they're okay, it'll be a joint Christmas gift for the father and the son, right?
Let's say it's a rich white family.
Yes, let's say it's a suburban white family with the two kids, the picket fence, and the dog, whatever. What's going to turn them away is that they can't buy this headset, go home, and use it. They need a PC to use it. If they did this with the PSVR, this would do phenomenally.
Which I guarantee you they're going to do, because PSVR, other than Vive right now, as of the story that we just read, is the only one that's confirmed for retail locations.
Yes. And right now, the only headset that is plug and play is PSVR. You pick it up at the store, you can go home, and you can play it with your PS4. If you have the camera. Yeah. I'm assuming the guy at the counter would probably mention that. If he didn't, he should be fired.
Yeah.
Cause,
also, I'm sure they'll be selling that bundle thing.
Oh, yeah, they'll sell the bundle. But nothing's worse than having to go to a store, find out you didn't buy something you need, and have to drive back.
And the GameStop guy is going to try to upsell to that bundle, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be like, hey,
do you want two more Move controllers? What if somebody else wants to play? But there's only one headset. But, you might need two more controllers.
You spend $100, you're getting the two Move controllers, and that's the most important part, is the Move controller.
Yes. But with Vive, I don't think this like demo at GameStop is going to do very well because you can't just pick it up and go home and play it. It's very unlikely that your average computer user is going to have a computer that can run this. Not a lot of people have a $1,500 PC lying around if you want to go by the retail price of what that computer would cost.
So I think it's twofold of why this doesn't work out in a way.
Yes.
It's cool, though, to get people into VR, and maybe then they can get into VR with the Vive and be like, well, PlayStation has one coming out, so why don't we try that? We already have a PlayStation.
Yeah, if anything, this will get people, they'll pique their interest, so they'll do research. And they can then figure out from there what headset is best for them. And I'm sorry if my audio is changing any, like, I don't realize I'm doing this, but I'm spinning slightly in my chair. So if my audio is fluctuating, that's what's doing it. I apologize. I'll stop doing it now.
I don't know if my audio is weird because I keep looking up at an angle towards the TV to read the story. So, if that's a problem, I don't know. I've been doing it for a couple weeks, though, and my audio seems fine, so. But speaking of PlayStation, actually, Drive Club developer Evolution Studios now part of Codemasters.
Remember those guys from last week? Or was it week before?
Yes. This is last week. Evolution Studios, the developer behind MotorStorm and Drive Club, has a new home at Codemasters. The maker of Dirt and Formula One racing games is adding the Evolution Studios team to its ranks 3 weeks after Sony's announced plans to shutter Evolution Studios. So apparently it was 3 episodes ago. We're an idiot. We're a couple idiots.
Yeah, what else is new?
Codemasters announced the acquisition on a post in its in a post on its website today, indicating that the entirety of Evolution Studios' team was making the jump to Codemasters. The success of F1 2015 and Dirt Rally over the last 12 months has repositioned the growth of the company, said Codemasters CEO Frank Sagnier. I'm going to say Sagnier. In a statement, the addition of the Evolution team to our studio group will allow us to scale our business and strengthen our leadership as the world's premier racing game developer. I'm thrilled to have Mick Hawking join Codemasters as VP of Product Development. His experience in building AAA IP and leading great teams made him a natural choice to head the development of all of our products. I am equally thrilled to welcome his talented team to the Codemasters family, and I look forward to the great games and brand new IP we will develop together. Hawking, who was previously studio director at Evolution Studios, said his team will be supporting Codemasters on existing brands in addition to developing new titles.
It's an odd name. Sounds like you have something in your throat. Hawking.
I know, right? Hawking. I'm delighted to be joining Codemasters at such an exciting time in the company's growth, Hawking said in a statement. We have shared passions for racing, a desire to innovate, and a determination to create the best racing games and build the biggest racing community in the market. I am very much looking forward to working with so many of the world's greatest racing developers on new IP as well as existing franchises, including Dirt, Grid, Micro Machines, and the Formula One games. Evolution Studios was founded in 1999. The developer was previously working on updates to Drive Club, the PS4 racing game it released in 2014.
Blah, blah, blah. All PR speak for, hey, we couldn't do it ourselves, so we had to merge with another studio.
Well, also, they just got shuttered by Sony. Like, they really didn't have a choice then.
Sony's not one to take second chances. If they back you the first time and you don't do well, they're not going to back you a second time.
Yeah.
They've never been the company to give second chances. So, I mean, unfortunately, I would be more excited about this, but the racing genre is such a small and niche sort of genre of gaming. There are so few titles that do well, and there's not really a lot of room for innovation. I want to say, if you want to consider Rocket League a racing game, a racing sports hybrid, that is the biggest innovation the sports genre has, or the racing genre rather, has seen in the last few years. And I guess the same is true for the sports genre.
I would equate that more to the sports genre. I don't think that's really a racing game. There's no real race to it. Now, if it was a race to the goal, actually, no, it is kind of a race. It's a race to the goal.
Yeah, I mean, you're controlling cars, you're drifting, you're abusing driving mechanics in a sports setting. So you can do it with either or. But I don't know. I don't expect this to mean anything. If they come out in the next 2 or 3 years and make this revolutionary racing title, then I will be completely wrong. But I don't think that's the case.
I think it's exciting because Evolution is a good studio, and they just kind of had like a couple, bad selling games like MotorStorm Apocalypse. I remember came out at a bad time because it was like when the Japan had an earthquake or something like that, and their whole gimmick of the game was like these natural disasters during a race.
Yeah, so it looked like it was in bad taste.
Yeah, and then they made a Vita version of MotorStorm, which obviously wasn't going to sell because it's on the Vita. Don't get me wrong, I love the Vita, but it's...
You're one of the few?
Yeah, it's not a high-selling system. And then Drive Club, just like that game seemed like it didn't know what it wanted to be. It didn't know what it wanted to be either. Like, it seemed like it was going to be a simulation racing game, like a Gran Turismo or a Forza, but then it's very arcadey playing. But even then, like, that the two do not mix well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we'll have to stay in touch and see what Evolution can now do when they're mixed with Codemasters. And Dirt is a pretty good franchise, and obviously Formula 1 is one of the big hitters. So they're with the big boys now, and we'll see if they can add anything to that table.
Speaking of adding to the table, Ubisoft's adding its E3 press conference to the table of press conferences.
You tried. That points for effort. I give you that.
Yeah. Ubisoft will hold its annual E3 press conference event on Monday, June 13th. In a tweet, the company revealed both date and time for the conference. This year's presser will begin at 1 p.m. Pacific time, following a 12:30 p.m. pre-show. Eastern's like 3 hours after, right?
Eastern is 3 hours after Pacific, yes.
So it would be at like 4?
It would be at 4 our time, and the pre-show would be at 3:30. For you Eastern listeners.
That's a bit earlier than last year's event. Ubisoft's 2015 show started at 2:45 p.m. and was hosted by comic Aisha Tyler, who Ubisoft teases will return if you closely look at the image that they tweeted.
Why do I not remember her? Isn't she a voice actress or an actress?
She's a voice on Archer.
Oh, she's the girl who does Lana.
Yeah, she's Lana on Archer.
Aha.
Yeah, she's good. She's very funny.
She is very funny.
In 2015, Ubisoft's stage show was preceded by Electronic Arts Conference. Now that EA is doing its own thing before the official start of the expo.
I'll make my own E3.
Exactly. There was a new... That would be great. There was a new opening in the schedule. Both EA and Bethesda will hold their conferences one day earlier on Sunday, June 12th. All three events will be live streamed. Ubisoft hasn't laid out what games to expect during its event, but we know not to look forward to a new Assassin's Creed game. The company does have its hands in the feature film based on the franchise, premiering December 21st, so we might get a look at that, I guess. It also got games like Watch Dogs 2 and South Park: The Fractured Butthole due out before April 2017. And that's pretty much all the information.
That's probably one of their most anticipated titles, I'll be honest, is the new South Park game.
Yeah, the last South Park game was fantastic.
Yeah.
So if it's even half as good as that game, it'll be great.
I mean, the only consistent complaint I've heard about that game was there's no real reason to replay it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sucks, is that there was no, like, DLC planned, or, like, there's no real, like, branching paths to the narrative. Like, there's a different path you can take, but it just kind of changes the way the story goes, like, in one mission area.
It's one of the few games that came out, was good, and then disappeared. It's one of the old-fashioned games where there was no DLC, there was nothing you had to buy online, nothing fancy, it was just a good game.
I don't even remember any patches for it. Like, it seems like it came out and just ran fine.
Yeah, that's very rare these days.
Yeah, especially a game made by Obsidian, the people who made, like, Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. So, I'm getting worried for E3, I'm not gonna lie. It seems like every year a major developer is dropping out to do their own show. Nintendo was last year.
It's all been pretty much this year. Like, Nintendo's really, up until this year, was the only one who does their own thing. Which even then, it's still during E3. And all these are basically still during E3 anyway, so, like, there's no point to them not being a part of E3.
It's just annoying for those of us who have to report on it, because now we have to pay attention to 17 different streaming sites.
And it sucks for me, because E3 is, like, my favorite time of year. It's like Christmas morning to me.
Yeah, anybody who loves video games, E3 is, like, the holy grail.
Press conference day is my favorite day of the year.
Yeah, you get to make fun of the horrible hosts. You get all sorts of great news. It's just a great time.
Speaking of Ubisoft, I really hope there's another Just Dance thing where they get like some singer to come out and do like a terrible performance. Last year it was Jason Derulo, and it was absolutely hilarious because he tried to get people to dance with him, and nobody would dance. It was awesome.
That is the sort of awkwardness we've come to expect from E3.
I mean, and then the other greatest thing was the year Ubisoft was like, we're gonna make our own laser tag, and then they had people playing laser tag in the aisles.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to really lose out on these kind of things, EA? Do you want these kind of things?
I think it's just EA doesn't want to. I don't know what sort of contractual obligement they have to be at E3. I assume it's something they have to pay a certain amount of money to be there, of course.
They have to pay for like a booth and everything.
Yeah.
But even then, they're paying for their own event, which I feel like costs more money in the long run.
There's got to be something that they're doing, that they're getting something better out of doing it themselves than having to pay to be at E3. There has to be some sort of difference that we just don't know about, or maybe we'll have to do a little research into this and figure out why they're doing this.
I don't even know what EA is going to show. I didn't mean to make that noise with the thing. I accidentally hit the table when I was adjusting myself. But I don't even know what EA is going to show this year. Like, EA doesn't really have anything. Well, they have Titanfall 2, which got announced this week, but I didn't put it in because it was only like a 10-second trailer they put out for it.
They've got swords.
Yeah, they got swords. It's going to be exciting.
I love it.
But I hope it goes all full anime on me. But
It'd be pretty cool.
It would be.
What do you think about the Assassin's Creed movie? The fact that they're skipping a game in 2016, thank God. But now they're making a movie.
See, we knew about the movie for a while.
Yeah, we have.
We knew the movie was coming.
It seems like it's never in the news. Like it pops up every now and again when we get a new cast member, or there's
we get like photos of the set.
Yeah, but like it's for the most part, it kind of stays out of the limelight.
See,
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
It's got like legitimate cast members to it. Like it's not like one of these things where it's like, we got like Johnny Be Good off the street or something like that. And we
Johnny
told him,
No
hey,
Name.
come be Ezio. But it's got like Michael Fassbender who plays the young Magneto and stuff, and
yeah,
he's in a bunch of movies. He's a really good actor. But like, we haven't heard anything about it, which kind of worries me a little bit. The movie comes out in December, and we still haven't gotten a trailer. But I think, if anything, and this may be weird for a video game conference, I think we might just get the premiere of the trailer at E3.
We might. And actually, I think
EA
we've
press
been
conference.
sort of spoiled by comic book movies. Like, think of Batman v Superman. We were seeing trailers and clips of that movie like 3 years before it ever came out.
That movie got announced in 2014.
Yeah, it just came out like a month ago.
Exactly.
So I think we're getting sort of spoiled that we want to know everything about a movie. Well, we don't want to know everything. They just thought we did. But like we're used to getting these tidbits way before the movie ever comes out, and they're not doing it with this movie. So I think it adds that sort of suspense. I kind of like it. Now that I think about it.
The other thing that makes me go, hey, this movie might be pretty good, is that Ubisoft is actually really involved with it.
Yeah, they've got their fingers in the cookie jar.
Yeah, and when a developer is involved with a movie, that makes me think that like they're actually like, hey, let's not make a crap movie this time.
If anything, I think they'll be true to the source material if Ubisoft is involved, because Ubisoft is very passionate about their Assassin's Creed franchise. If the one franchise they have that I feel like most of their effort goes into making sure that franchise is going strong, and they've had a few
slip ups. Best-selling franchise.
Yeah, I think it is their best-selling franchise.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
If anything, they're gonna want to. Now it makes sense, right? So we're not getting a game this year, but we're getting a movie.
Right.
Which means we're probably gonna get a game towards the end of 2017, or maybe towards the middle. If the movie does very well, it's gonna sell the game.
Yeah.
This now makes much more sense business-wise.
Here's the thing, right? You know what doesn't make any sense business-wise is I feel like you'd want a game out, so that way if people go see the movie and they're like, well, this movie's rad, I really just want to play some Assassin's Creed right now. They can't go and buy... Like, the new Ratchet and Clank movie that's coming out, they just released a new Ratchet and Clank game, which makes a lot of sense because then, like, a kid can go see Ratchet and Clank the movie and be like, Ratchet and Clank is awesome. And then the dad can go out and buy him the PS4 game, and then he can get more Ratchet and Clank in his life.
I think it's they realize that they can't keep doing this every year because their games have steadily been declining in quality since... What was the last good one people liked? I think Black Flag is the one everybody compares everything to, so... They realize they can't keep doing this every year, so rather than doing a game, we'll do a movie and then capitalize on that later.
Don't get me wrong, like, I'm fully on board with Assassin's Creed, like, being like, hey, yeah, let's take a year off and let's make, like, a really cool game, right?
Yeah, or do the Call of Duty thing, where you have a couple different developers kind of sort of spinning
Yeah.
around it. One doing it
like a 3-year cycle or whatever.
Yeah, so you get the same
The problem
sort of
I think
quality.
is that even if like they make a game every year, they have like 45 Ubisoft studios working on it.
Yeah.
For some reason, like every studio's got their hands in the pie at that company.
But, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
We have other stories to talk about.
Speaking of games that are somewhat disappointing, Star Wars Battlefront's second expansion is coming this June.
Yes.
Electronic Arts detailed new content coming to Star Wars Battlefront, including what's available in its next expansion, Bespin. The second of 4 planned downloadable content packs arrives this June as part of the game's season pass. It will finally introduce a fan favorite to the mix, Lando Calrissian.
Is he really a fan favorite? Do a lot of people like him?
Lando. I like Lando.
I mean, clearly not enough people liked him because they gave Nien Nub a spot before Lando.
Yeah, I know.
He's actually awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
I haven't played it yet, so I don't know how him or Greedo is.
Greedo
As previously...
Yeah. Continue, sorry.
Sorry. As previously announced, Bespin will take place in Cloud City, a location first introduced in The Empire Strikes Back. 4 new maps based on the area will be included, as well as star cards, blasters, and a new game mode. Alongside Lando is another playable character, Dengar, a bounty hunter hired by Darth Vader to take down Han Solo. EA will also add free content updates to Battlefront throughout the next few months. These will include new HUT contracts, options for those who want to enjoy Star Wars Battlefront offline. The publisher teased plans for celebrating so-called Star Wars Day, known to non-fans as May 4th, are also in the works. The third and fourth of the remaining Season Pass expansions will arrive this fall and in early 2017. Each pack will be available as also as a standalone purchase. The first deal set Outer Rim hit PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One last month, adding new characters like Greedo and Ninub to the Battlefront.
I don't recognize that bounty hunter. Here, I'll link a picture to him. I don't know what he's from.
In all honesty, he's probably just a background character.
That's what he looks like. So why are they running out of characters that quickly?
Because they have that, what is that? They have that lineup scene where they show all the bounty hunters, and then eventually Boba Fett.
Yeah, he's a dude in a white turban with like a brown chest plate.
I would have added Bosk before anybody. Bosk is cool.
Their introduction of characters confuses me. Like, they picked Nien Nub over both Chewie and Lando.
Yeah.
And they didn't, and now they're adding some unnamed, well, he's named, but unknown, bounty hunter.
I would have added Bosk or my personal favorite, IG-88, which is a robot bounty hunter.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't know. It's,
someone that, like, obviously, like, I'm sure there's a fan out there who's like, oh, man, that's so cool, they're adding Dengar. Like, but add someone that people care about, you know what I mean?
That's the argument I always have for Nien Nub. He's the most recognizable nobody in Star Wars. If somebody goes, hey, look, they're adding Nien Nub. Who? That guy who flew the ship with Lando. Oh, that guy.
I call him Old Vagina Mouth because his mouth looks like a vagina.
He sounds weird. He's like, it's like Zoidberg. I don't know what he's saying.
No, he's like, there's an alien that's from something that talks like that.
I'm sure there's a book on him. There's a book on everything.
I'm sure it's from Futurama.
Maybe there's a book on Dengar. I'd like to learn more about it.
There probably is. In all honesty, there probably is in that universe.
There's always if I learned anything about the EU of Star Wars, is there's everything.
Why not add Mon Mothma?
Yeah.
Who does nothing but stand in a room.
I mean, that's what half of these people do. I mean, look at Boba Fett. The only thing he did was show up, look cool, and die.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, this next article is huge.
I know. Speaking of showing up and dying.
How? What? That didn't work at all.
There is kind of a showing up part of this.
Yeah.
That isn't it, but nobody died. Former Rockstar North head sues company for $150 million in unpaid royalties. That's actually not a lot in the long run for Grand Theft Auto. Like, let's just give it to him.
I mean, for a company, no. $150 it's a sizable chunk of money, but, I mean, it's nothing that Take-Two
for a company that made
out about.
For a company that made $1 billion in 2 days
yeah.
on one game, I'm sure they're fine.
Take-Two's not sweating.
Leslie Benzies, former president of Rockstar North and one of the lead producers on the Grand Theft Auto series, is suing Take-Two Interactive for $150 million in unpaid royalties, alleging that the company tried to force him out after he took a sabbatical.
Yes.
A sabbatical, for the people who don't know, is a time off from work.
It's a period of paid leave.
Exactly. Reports that Benzies had left the company emerged in January following a sabbatical that began in September 2014. But according to a statement provided by Christopher Bakes, that's a weird name, Bakes, partner at the law firm Locklord LLP, while on sabbatical, Mr. Benzies discovered numerous deceptions on the part of Take-Two, Rockstar, Rockstar North, Sam Houser, and Dan Houser, who sought to force him out of the company and terminate his portion of royalty payments based upon arbitrary actions by the company's Royalty Allocation Committee, a committee that may or may not have ever actually met. Which is, this is an odd story so far.
This is like
Get ready.
I don't know what this is like. This is weird. Continue.
Get ready, because it gets weirder. These alleged deceptions, according to Bakes, include unpaid royalties worth over $150 million. The lawsuit specifically cites the mounting resentments of Sam Houser, one of the co-founders of Rockstar Games, which allegedly led Benzies' denial of compensation and eventual ousting. In 2008, Benzies, along with Sam and Dan Houser, entered a long-term agreement with Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar North after years at the company. They signed the contract alongside Take-Two's introduction of an incentive compensation program that was based on profit sharing. According to a press release in the statement detailing his legal complaint, Benzies' contract with and the payment from Take-Two was said to be identical of that of the Housers until his departure. Also in question is Benzies' sabbatical, which Take-Two and Rockstar previously said ended with Benzies' departure from the company after the January report that the president had parted ways with Rockstar North. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick confirmed... That sounds like a German bad guy in an action movie.
It does.
Confirmed the reports on a February conference call with investors. I can confirm that Leslie Benzies went on sabbatical in September of 2014, Zelnick said, according to a transcript of the call. He's decided not to return to Rockstar Games. Zelnick went on to say that he could not comment further on Benzies' future plans. Benzies tells it differently in a statement about the lawsuit. He claims to have attempted to return to work on April 1st, 2015, only to find that his key had been deactivated.
The plot thickens. I'm sorry, but whenever somebody says they did something on April 1st, I immediately discredit whatever they just said. Even if I'm sure he tried to return to work on the 1st of April. But the fact that you said you did it on the 1st of April, I'm starting... I have an inherent disbelief now. You've ruined it for me.
After being let inside by building security, Mr. Benzies was then ordered to leave by the Rockstar North office manager without reason, according to a statement. We've reached out... Well, this is them saying they reached out to Take-Two, and then there was an update. Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar Games have filed a countersuit against Benzies, citing a breach of contract. In a document obtained from the United States District Court, the plaintiffs claim that Benzies officially left the company on April 2nd, 2015. The company disputes Benzies' reason for terminating his employment. According to the documents, Take-Two Interactive claims that Benzies left the company without good reason, thus excluding him from collecting the pre- and post-termination royalties otherwise promised in Take-Two's compensation plan.
So they're trying to screw him.
Basically.
It's Kojima all over again.
Exactly. Benzies, however, continues to demand parity with respect to pre-termination royalty payments and post-termination royalty payments. Take-Two claims in a document the parties to this action have sought unsuccessfully to resolve the issue through mediation and now seek judicial clarification that would resolve this controversy. And then there's another update.
Oh my god.
Leslie Benzies was a valued employee of our company for many years, a representative for Rockstar Games told Polygon in an email. Sadly, the events that culminated in his resignation ultimately stem from his significant performance and conduct issues. Despite our repeated efforts to address and resolve these issues amicably, both before and after his departure, Leslie has chosen to take this route in an attempt to set aside contract terms to which he previously agreed on multiple occasions. His claims are entirely without merit and in many instances downright bizarre, and we are very confident that this matter will be resolved in our favor. A core ethos since Rockstar's inception has been the concept of the team. It is deeply disappointing and simply wrong for Leslie to attempt to take personal credit for what has always been the tremendous efforts of the entire Rockstar team, who remain hard at work delivering the most immersive and engaging entertainment experiences we can for our fans. The full court document from Take-Two Interactive's Countersuit is embedded in the article, so we will give you a link to that if you want to read that 10-page document.
Okay, so that was an incredibly long story.
Yes.
But I don't know that there's much to discuss here. From what it sounds like is he took a sabbatical, decided to, from what it sounds like is he tried to come back to work. They denied him that access. Mm-hmm. And then he had, well, hold on a second. Well, for the most part, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? Both sides, it seems like there's something going on here in the middle here that we don't know about, right? Because both sides are saying that there's something going on with the other, right? Leslie Benzies is saying that they're trying to push him out of Rockstar, and then Rockstar is saying we didn't try to push him out. He's just, he's
being an ass.
Yeah, basically, and like apparently he's always been an ass, essentially.
Yeah. So from what I'm reading is, I'm actually kind of in favor of, from what I've read now, I think Rockstar might be in the right here, because if what they're saying is true, then he's trying to screw the system, is what it sounds like. Is that he'd agreed to the terms to which he agreed to terms on multiple times, and now he's trying to get out of that deal by going to court. Is what this is sounding like to me. I don't know how true any of this is. I'm not a legal major. I have no idea what any of the political speak means. But from what it sounds like is that he is trying to both take royalties and leave the company at the same time, while also going against what he'd already signed to in an agreement with them. So I don't know, I'm sure if I read this document, I would have a better understanding, but I'm not going to read a 10-page legal document for something that's going to get reported on in 2 weeks anyway.
I think the weird thing is that he went on like a 6-month sabbatical.
Yeah, that's a really long leave.
No, actually, it was like 7 months, actually.
So he left in September.
Sabbatical. September, and then came back in April. September makes sense that he would leave because that's after GTA came out on the next-gen systems.
Yeah, so his job was more or less done.
Yeah. All that was left to do was put it out on PC, and I'm sure that they can handle that themselves without him.
I don't think he had anything to do with that.
Yeah. But the thing is just like, that's a really long sabbatical to take. Like, some people, they take sabbaticals towards the end of the year when they're done making a game, but it's not for 7 months.
Generally speaking, sabbaticals are a lot of, it's like every 7 years, particularly in the teaching profession, is when someone takes a sabbatical. I don't know if it changes depending on the profession you're in, but that's the only experience I have with sabbaticals.
Even then, most of the time what I hear in interviews with game developers is that when they're done with a game, they'll take like a sabbatical for a certain amount of time. But at the most, it's a month.
That's what Konami said Kojima was doing. Was
exactly.
That he was essentially on a extended leave after the release of Metal Gear.
He was on a long vacation, and nobody could find him. Where in the world was Hideo Kojima?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have much of a stake in this. I don't particularly care for the outcome one way or the other, but it's concerning that
it's interesting.
It's interesting, and it seems to be that we're getting quite a few of these political scandals in the gaming industry. Yeah. Of course, Kojima's dwarfs this, but this one is interesting nonetheless.
Because Kojima's is like
a 6-month-long adventure trying to hunt him down and figure out where he was, what he was up to, what happened.
It was like when they try to find the Hulk in the beginning of the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
They go to Brazil, they find Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
He's like, you won't like me when I'm angry. It's a big thing. I think this story is interesting, and we'll obviously talk about it if more stuff comes out about it. in the coming weeks.
I don't expect there'll be much more. If anything, it's just going to be, well, the courts, ruled in this favor or that favor, and either way, nobody's walking away happy with this.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But now, time to get into the wrap up.
Yes. By contrast, these stories are much shorter.
Yes, and much livelier.
Yes. No legal speak, as far as I know.
Exactly. But the first one is for a special group of people in my heart. PlayStation Vita owners, Drinkbox Studios has something just for you and only you. Severed, the slashing combat role-playing game that makes very heavy use of the Vita's touchscreen, launches on April 26th. The game's story goes as such. Sasha carries a living sword, which players can slash across enemies by swiping their finger over the screen. Severed's touch controls will also be used to solve puzzles and find secrets hidden in the world. What do you think of that? You interested in that?
Sounds like, what's the name of it?
Infinity Blade.
No, I was thinking Soul Eater and Bleach, because both of the swords, or both of all the weapons in that game are alive. Or not the game, the anime. What the hell am I talking about?
I figured you were talking about game-wise, because it sounds a lot like Infinity Blade on iPhone, which is where you swipe to kill enemies and stuff.
I don't know. I don't have a Vita. I don't plan on getting a Vita, but I'm sure all 7 of you Vita owners are very excited.
Yeah, woo, Drinkbox, let's do this.
Yeah. Do you guys have monthly meetings?
Yeah, we all meet up and then we all sync over network and we play PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
Oh, see, there you go. The most exclusive club in the world.
It's been almost 2 years since we last saw Let It Die, Grasshopper Manufacturer's free-to-play action game in development for PlayStation 4. In a new video uploaded by Gung Ho Online Entertainment, however, director Suda51 and producer Kazuki Morishita, I think I said that right. I hope I said that right. Confirmed that the game is still very much alive. Its official website confirms a 2016 release, and Suda51 will soon reveal the first playable build of the game. A demo for Let It Die will be available to try out at PAX East, which takes place in Boston. Go Sox, later this month. Anything to say about that?
I'm disappointed I'm not going to PAX East.
Yeah, I am too.
I don't know much about Grasshopper, and I don't, I know almost nothing about Gung Ho Online, so.
Grasshopper Manufacturer makes some of the coolest games I've ever played in my life, mainly the No More Heroes franchise.
I'm
on the
not
Wii.
familiar with them.
It's a pretty cool game. It's basically like you play as a guy who buys a lightsaber off of eBay and then decides he wants to be the number 1 ranked assassin, so he has to go through all the people who are in front of him that are ranked assassins. It's pretty cool.
Work the way up the ladder. That's
yeah,
interesting.
It's a cool game. It's kind of like if you've ever seen or read the comic book Scott Pilgrim, but it's much more violent.
It's the one everybody likes. I don't know what it is about Scott Pilgrim, but everybody seems to like it.
That's radical. That's what
I haven't seen the movie.
But both the movie and the book are great in very different ways, because the book and the
very different from my
understanding.
understanding.
Yeah, because the movie, it condenses all the comic, because there's 6 issues of it.
Yeah.
Because Scott has to fight his girlfriend's 7 evil exes. And so each book is a different evil X, but the movie condenses all of them down into an evil X.
Please tell me the 7 X's are based on, the 7 sins. That'd be pretty cool.
No, that would have been cool, but it wasn't. But all the fights are basically like Street Fighter video game fights. Like, they're, insane and crazy.
Cool.
And each evil X is played by, a cool actor. Like, Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, is one of them. Brandon Routh, who is Superman and Superman Returns, is one of them. It's all really cool. Good movie. You should see it.
I'll have to read the books and watch the movie.
Yeah, it's very good. Speaking of GTA, though, like we were earlier, a new gameplay type is out for GTA, Inch by Inch, plus a lot of bonuses, item discounts, and a new vehicle, the Vapid Minivan Custom. It has an adversary mode, which is Inch by Inch, in which teams advance a package into their opponent's end zone, both dodging and suppressing a hail of gunfire. The players carrying the package cannot use any weapons and must rely on cover, a burst of speed, and teammates taking out opposing gunmen in order to survive. After every score, the action immediately resets, keeping the pace of play frantic. And let me tell you something, Brad, because you wrote that little thing for the...
I stitched it together very quickly, yes.
You stitched it together very poorly, let me tell you
Listen,
something.
I was on a time constraint. No offense. It happens.
no offense to you or anything. That was stitched together very poorly, and it probably sounds very disjointed the way I read it because I didn't know what I was reading
It's
in a way.
about 30 seconds of work. Thank you very much. But from what I saw, it looks like the picture the article showed. It was a top-down view looking at like a soccer field almost, with like big sandbags scattered across the field on both sides. So what it looks like is, it's very similar to just a normal game of soccer with guns. One person, instead of kicking the ball, he's holding it, and he's running down the field trying to get to the other side while his buddies are covering him. It looks like it's really fun. I haven't played it yet, but...
Yeah, it seems like it's GTA's Rocket League in a weird way.
Yeah, but now with guns and GTA. So
Exactly.
almost nothing like Rocket League except on a soccer field.
Yeah, and guns in GTA always make things better.
Pretty much. Jake will have to report on that next week if he plays it.
Yes, I will. But that's it for the news.
Yes, yes it is.
So that means that it's time to get into America, mine, and yours favorite game show. Well, that sucked. Welcome to Well That Sucked. The way the game works is simple. I give Brad 3 randomly selected games, and he has to tell me which is the lowest rated according to Metacritic. I can give Brad no help besides a brief description of the game if Brad so wishes for it. Brad, are you ready?
Sure.
Round 1.
Round 1.
So you can figure out the theme here. Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Lego Rock Band, and Lego Indiana Jones, The Original Adventures. So the good adventures.
Oh, God, I don't play Lego games. My
should.
brother does. He loves them.
I bought Lego Marvel Superheroes last night because it's $5 on PlayStation right now.
Is it really?
And the first mission is radical.
So it was Indiana Jones. What was the other two?
Pirates of the Caribbean and Rock Band.
I'm tempted to go with Rock Band because I can't imagine a Lego Rock Band game being any good.
It's just Rock Band, but the band is replaced by Lego people, and the music is obviously kid-oriented.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that
Lego.
one. That sounds not good.
You were right, actually.
Yeah, it didn't sound very good.
Can you tell me what Lego Rock Band is rated?
70.
Ooh, oh my god, very close. You're going to be so mad when I say this. 71. Can I just want to say something about Lego Rock Band. It's not that bad of a game, it's just Rock Band. But the music is obviously more kid-skewed. Like, it's not actually like kid songs. Like, it's not like the wheels on the bus go round and round or anything like that.
I think it might be better if it was. I want a heavy metal remix of the Wheels on the Bus.
But it's like stuff like kids can listen to. So it's like, I remember, the one I remember the most is that they have like these like fantasy song things. Like, most of it is just them playing in like a club with a bunch of Lego people. But they have like ones where it's like a fantasy music video, and one was Ghostbusters, and I remember that one. So
it's like Kids Bop but Rock Band. Nobody likes Kids Bop.
no, but like it's not like kids like covering songs
No, but it's
or anything.
kid-friendly songs.
I guess. Yeah.
You're not going to find Eminem in that game.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna have Berserk by Eminem like in Guitar Hero Live. Round 2.
Round 2.
So you can figure out the theme here.
I always stopped trying to do the weird voice. I just kind of...
Oh, the weird transsexual robot voice that you used to
Yeah.
do? Wanted Weapons of Fate.
That's new.
Watchmen, The End Is
I
Nigh.
don't know that one either.
And The Darkness.
I don't know any of these games.
These are games based on comic books.
No. I don't know the comic books either.
The weird thing, you don't know Watchmen?
Not off the top of my head, should I?
Yeah, most people consider it the greatest like comic book of all time.
Watchmen. Give me a synopsis. What is Watchmen? I don't...
It's alternate 1985, and being a superhero has been outlawed, and so now these and then someone is murdering all the old superheroes, and so people are trying to investigate what's happening, and it's very hard to explain what happens in Watchmen. I'm more confused than I was 5 minutes ago. I can't give like a normal synopsis of Watchmen. I'm sure if you saw a picture of it, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, Watchmen." You know Dr. Manhattan?
No.
He's a big blue guy.
The big...
Doesn't wear pants.
The Hulk's evil cousin? Evil
No, we'll talk about it more. It's that game's basically just a beat 'em up, but with Watchmen characters of Night Owl, who's basically Batman, and Rorschach, who's also basically Batman.
Twin. So 2 Batmans.
Yeah, Wanted: Weapons of Fate is a game it's more based on the movie Wanted, but Wanted, it was that movie with the curving of the bullet.
Yeah.
The comic book is different because it's about supervillains, and the movie is about a League of Assassins, but it's essentially the same storyline. And The Darkness is that game where it's like a first-person shooter where you get like weird like tentacles coming out of your shoulders.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never seen that game before?
No. This is complete. It's very rare that we have 3 games that I've never even heard of before.
I guarantee you, if you looked up Wanted, obviously, because I just explained that.
And
to
I
you.
only know it because you said the curving the bullet thing.
Yeah, which that game actually wasn't that bad. It was only like 3 hours long, so it was kind of But I guarantee you, if you saw Watchmen, you'd be like, "Oh, Watchmen, yeah." And The Darkness, I guarantee you, if you saw like gameplay of it, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that game. I remember when that game came out, and I never played it because nobody really played it." They did make a second one.
I don't know anything about any of these games. I don't know how do I decide criteria.
Wanted is a third-person shooter.
Okay.
Watchmen is a third-person beat 'em up, and The Darkness is a first-person shooter.
Okay, so you explained the Watchmen, and I got confused. I knew what the bullet curving thing was, so that one's fine. So I'm gonna go with the tentacle out of the arm one.
Wrong. You picked the highest rated.
Ah, well.
The lowest rated was Watchmen. The end is 9.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't want to pick that one to confuse me.
He told me what Watchmen the end of 9 is rated.
Oh, God. I don't know how to judge this. It was probably a horrible game. It was awful, and nobody ever played it, so...
It was pretty bad. I'm
going to go with a 52.
Oh my God, Brad, you're going to be so mad when I say it's 55.
Come on. Turns out picking one number out of 100 is pretty difficult.
Exactly. Round 3.
Round 3.
See if you can find out the theme here. Toy Story 3, WALL-E, The Incredibles.
Haven't you done Toy Story already? Or am I making that up?
I think I did. No, I think I did a different Toy Story game because I think I did
How many Toy Story games could there possibly be? Don't answer that.
There's at least 3 of them.
Oh God. So Toy Story, WALL-E, and The Incredibles.
Yeah, I might have done Toy Story 3. I hope I didn't.
If you did, I don't remember it, so it really doesn't help me.
Exactly.
So The Incredibles, I loved. I thought that was awesome. It's the best Fantastic
It's my
Four
favorite
movie
Pixar
we've
movie.
ever gotten.
Exactly.
So I'm not picking that one. WALL-E was the robot, the little trash collector guy, and
Yeah,
he meets
WALL-E.
the android chick, and they fall in love. I forget the
Eve.
plot of that story. It's the one with the fat humans, I remember, that are in the chairs.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
they
know
are.
that one.
They are very fat people.
Yeah, and he had the cockroach buddy.
Yeah.
The cockroach guy.
But what's a video game about that about?
Probably
Think about
like
that.
a collectathon.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never played it.
So I'm
I've only
tempted
played
to
The
go with
Incredibles and Toy Story 3.
Toy Story. Just because I can't in good conscience pick the other two. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Toy Story.
Wait.
What?
Before you lock it in, I should probably tell you about Toy Story 3 and The Incredibles because I didn't get to tell you about those because those are the only 2 I've played.
Oh, okay. Go for it. Not changing my answer. I'm still going with Toy Story, but I'm curious.
The Incredibles is obviously a superhero game.
Yes.
Each level is tailored around each character's specific superpower. So Mr. Incredible is like brawling stuff. Same thing with, I guess, Elastigirl, kind of, because she stretches and stuff.
Yeah.
Dashes are like endless runner sequences where you have to dodge obstacles. And Violets are like sneaking around missions because she can turn
goes
invisible. Exactly.
Does anybody yell,
And
"Where's my super suit"?
I think they have cutscenes from the movie in it, so that scene might be in it.
Well, in this case, it's the best movie out of this entire lineup. Best game out of this entire lineup. Is the best movie out of this whole lineup too.
I like Toy Story 3 a lot. Makes me
I don't
cry.
think I've ever seen it. Well, maybe I have. Is that the one with the evil teddy bear?
Yes.
Oh, I have seen it then.
Toy Story 3 obviously is a game based on the Toy Story games, but there's also a toy box mode in it, which is essentially Red Dead Redemption, but with Toy Story.
That I don't know what.
Yeah, because like you play as Woody. It's in Woody's Roundup. Remember the show that he had in Toy Story 2?
Yeah.
That he's the toy from? So it's all inside Woody's Roundup. So it's essentially Red Dead Redemption, but with Toy
Does
Story.
my audio change at all? I'm curious.
No, you're still fine.
My Audacity wiggled out on me a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that might be because we went over an hour. I don't know.
Oh, God. All right, hurry up. Go.
So pick one.
I
You
did.
still
I'm
picking
sticking with Toy Story.
Okay, yeah, you're
Yeah,
wrong.
well, what else is new?
You picked the highest rated.
Again?
Wally was
I
the
would
lowest
win every
rated.
week if I had to pick the highest one.
Can you tell me what Wally is rated?
Oh, well, Wally was the lowest? That's
Yeah.
sad. It's because they didn't have a cockroach playable character. 82.
50.
Oh, Jesus.
Right down the middle. Just really,
Overall, not good.
yeah. The Incredibles, the second highest with a 62, and the highest rated was Toy Story 3 with a 78. I don't think I said what the highest rated was for any of the other ones either. The highest rated for the Lego ones was Indiana Jones with a 77, and the second was Pirates of the Caribbean with a 73. What is it? The Darkness was the highest rated with an 82. Wanted Weapons of Fate was the second highest with a 62, and Watchmen at a 55, obviously.
I suck
yeah.
at this.
Yeah, you do. You're really bad
Listen,
at it.
I've won like 3 weeks out of
Yeah.
out of how long are we doing this? 15 weeks?
Yeah, probably about that.
Oh God.
I think we started this like 4 episodes in, so
Yeah, it was a little longer than that, I think. But regardless, I've lost more than I've won. But it's a
Yes.
moral victory, and I'm still upset that Wally's the lowest.
it's a moral victory. How is it a moral victory?
That's not what I meant to say. What did I mean to say? Not a moral victory.
Mental?
So what's the other kind of victory? The one that doesn't really matter, but it matters to me. Somebody knows what I'm talking about, right? I'm not losing my mind. That's a saying.
Just read me the spiel.
Oh God, I'm losing my mind. That's what happens when the recording goes over an hour. All right, so if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at completewithdlc@gmail.com. That's going to be the best place to get in touch with us for your emails, your questions, concerns, your comments, anything you want to send our way. We'll read it, we'll respond, I don't know, whatever you want us to do in the email. If you don't want to get in touch with us on email and you prefer to follow us on the social medias, you can do that on Twitter. We're completewithdlc there as well. YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher are all the places you can find the podcast episodes. The RSS feed is hosted on SoundCloud. That is the best place to get the freshest episodes right off the line. The social media site, Twitter, is where Jacob will put all the things out where a new episode goes up. And also, you'll get a notification on Twitter if we put a new episode up on YouTube, which has been happening slowly, but it is happening if my internet stops dying. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher, leave us a review. Leave us a comment. We definitely love all the reviews we get, and we try to do everything we can with them. We're constantly trying to improve the show, and we like to think we're moving in the right direction. But, Jacob, if they don't want to talk to the show, they don't want to review it, they don't want anything to do with it, but they want to talk to you, where can they do that?
They can talk to me on any sort of social media at itsjgriff, ITSJYGRIFF. Most active on Twitter, I'd have to say. But yeah, so
Most recently talking about Sonic, if I remember correctly, and not the Hedgehog.
I did. I talked about Sonic and how good it is.
Because we just got a
It's
Sonic
so
here
good.
in the East Coast, and that is, we don't have any Sonics here.
Yeah, and it's literally like right over the bridge from where we live. It's like they have the best slushes I've ever had in my life. And the thing I tweeted before that was about Hardcore Henry. But
Yes.
yeah, that movie's something else. Let me tell you. I don't know whether that's good or bad
It's
yet.
a first-person shooter action video game movie. Motion
there's
sickness
some stuff-
Speranza. It's not a
There's
word.
some stuff I'll talk to you about off the podcast, but it's very odd. It's an odd movie. Brad, where can I get in touch
If you
with
want to
you?
get in touch with me, you can do that on Twitter. I'm Kalgny, Kalgne. You see the little pixel art guy? That's me.
Yeah,
I
the one that's usually from all the podcast thumbnails.
yes, that's my little hat
If we
and goatee
use
guy. If you don't,
Because he has a hat and goatee.
I do have a hat and a goatee. Though I don't have a plaid shirt.
Yeah, that was just because that was the one I could find. Anyway, go on.
If you don't want to use Twitter to get in touch with me, you can talk to me on Battle.net, and that's actually probably the better way to do it. I am Brad1261 on Battle.net, and if you send me an invite, as soon as I accept it, make a note that you're listening to the show, so I can mark you down appropriately, and I don't accidentally delete you. But those are going to be the two best ways to get in touch with me, and if you don't want to use either of those ways, email the show and direct it at me. and I'll make sure that I answer it. And if you want it at Jacob, then I'll direct it to Jacob and make sure he answers it. Or I can at least put it on his desk. I can't make sure he answers it, guys. There's only so much power I have.
Who knows if I'll answer it or not?
Jacob's unpredictable that way.
Exactly.
He's a man of mystery.
I'm a rogue.
He's going off the rails. He's like one of those stereotypical cop movies or cop TV shows.
Exactly.
But yeah, that is all the information that you guys need. I think.
Right.
All right, I didn't miss anything. I think I'm good.
Yeah, you
I should start writing this down.
Probably.
Nah, it's fine.
Nah, it's fine. Oh wait, you got to do your music recommendation.
Oh,
of the week.
right. So my music recommendation for this week is Smooth McGroove on YouTube, and he does acapella.
Video game covers.
Yeah, well, almost all video game covers, but he does them acapella style, and they're awesome.
Actually, no.
The last few have been Undertale covers, and everybody covers Undertale because it's one of probably the best quality of that game is its music. But other than that, he covered Dark Souls 3, the Premonition, I think it was called. He covered Sonic 2. He covered Final Fantasy 7. He covered a lot of different things, and they're all awesome. I don't think there's a single bad one in the group. So if you like acapellas, or even if you don't know what an acapella is, check out Smooth McGroove on YouTube. He's awesome. That is my plug.
My joke music recommendation of the week, because Brad has been starting to give actual ones, and I just start to give ones that are dumb. Also, weirdly a cappella in a way, is the song I Love Kanye by Kanye West.
Oh, God.
It's a 44-second song where he rhymes Kanye over like 40 times.
The one man on the planet where his ego could not be satiated.
With sweet lyrics as, I miss the old Kanye, straight from the go Kanye. And other lyrics like, what if Kanye made a song about Kanye called I Miss the Old Kanye? Man, that would be so Kanye.
I am losing brain cells by the minute. Please end the show.
Yeah, it doesn't have any background music to it all. It's just straight up Yeezy rapping over the track.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I went there. I said Yeezy.
You did.
But,
you did.
This has been complete with DLC. I'm Jacob Griffin.
I'm Brad Knight.
And I miss the old Kanye.